The Liberal Party, the Liberal caucus, is spending the next 48 hours here in Kelowna in advance of the fall sitting of Parliament. So let's just get right to some of the topics that I'm sure will be discussed. First and foremost is the new small business tax that's been proposed by your party. There are many that are within your party that have been hearing some negative comments about the tax. You yourself said just a couple days ago that you make no apologies about the tax. Our local MP, Stephen Fuhr, says that he hopes there can be some middle ground. Can there be some middle ground?
Well, of course. I mean, one of the things that we got elected on was a commitment to help grow the middle class, help those working hard to join it, and to do it by asking the wealthiest to do a little more. The first thing we did was we raised taxes on the wealthiest 1% and lowered them for the middle class. Then we brought in a Canada Child benefit that gives more money to 9 out of 10 Canadian families across this country. It's made a huge difference over the past year that it's been in. And we did that by not sending child benefit checks to the wealthiest Canadians. One of the things that we know and we've seen over a long while is that our tax system forces middle class Canadians to pay too much tax and, quite frankly, the wealthiest Canadians to not pay their fair share. You've got people making $50,000 who are paying more tax than people making $300,000 a year, and that doesn't make sense. So what we're looking at is changing things so that the wealthy pay their fair share. We are not going after small businesses. We're not going after the middle class. We are really going at the people who are using tax structures to pay less tax than the middle class.
And yet the Chambers of Commerce, the president of the local Chamber of Commerce, saying that the new tax is in essence attacking the small businessman that's trying to make a living and trying to get into the business world, that the tax is actually going to hurt them and keep them possibly from either reinvesting or keep people from coming into the...
I can understand those concerns, and I've heard those concerns, but what we have clearly said and clearly shown, what we will continue to talk about, is the fact is we are not going after small businesses in the middle class. We're going after the wealthiest people who are using tax structures to pay less tax proportionately than a lot of middle class folks. And that focus is what I work on every day. How can we help the middle class by asking the wealthiest to pay their fair share? That's exactly what Canadians voted for me for, and that's what our party is going to stay focused on.
Are you expecting to hear a lot of pushback from your MPs over the next 48 hours?
I'm expecting our MPs to do their job, which is to bring forward the concerns of their constituents, and they will have heard from wealthy people who are worried that this is going to make them pay more taxes. But what we are going to tell them and what they are going to see is, and what Canadians are going to see is, if you're a middle class business owner, this is going to help you, not hurt you.
Let's turn our attention to what's been going on in the province here in the southern half of the province. You've seen the wildfires firsthand. You've flown over some of them over the past month or so, and you can see what the community is like around here right now. Experts are saying that the hot, dry, no rainfall summers are what we can expect in this area of the country over the next number of years. Global warming, climate change, etc. Are we, as Canadians, as the government, doing enough to try and stem that tide to help this situation?
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here in Kelowna, where we are gathering together the caucus members from across the country to come and be hosted by Steve Fuhr and to showcase not just the challenges that Kelowna has gone through, but the extraordinary people here who have done amazing jobs fighting floods and then fires, a community that pulls together, that looks at economic growth, looks at opportunity as tremendously exciting, that understands how important it is to protect the environment at the same time, and really showcase that we get these concerns, that we recognize what Kelowna's gone through and how it is succeeding. As we reflect on the future, which is going to be more extreme weather events, possibly more floods, possibly more forest fires, we understand how important it is to both grow an economy and protect the environment together. That remains the two focuses of this government, because we know that in order to grow an economy that's truly strong for everyone, we do have to protect the environment at the same time.
There's been a lot of fire mitigation that's been going on in the province through the province of BC. An expert just said, I believe, the other day that maybe 7% of the province has been taken care of as far as that's concerned. Is there anything the federal government can do to step up to assist them?
Well, first of all, we have been working very, very close. I have to say the BC provincial government has been really, really great as a partner, and we've been there to help, to support them, all the tremendous leadership that we see here in BC on the ground in fighting these fires. We are starting to move into okay, what's next, or the cleanup phase, or the reparations and compensations phase, and we're, as a federal government, obviously going to be part of that. We've been having discussions around the agricultural framework and how we're going to compensate ranchers who lost a lot of their goods and their products and their livestock. How we're going to work with the province of BC to ensure that people come out of this strong.
I know your time's short. If I can ask you one quick question.
Sure.
The marijuana legislation, will that be coming out in the fall sitting, and will we get a chance to see what that looks like?
Absolutely. We're moving forward. We're planning on legalizing marijuana, putting in that legal framework by the time next summer rolls around, because it's the best way to protect our kids from having the easy access to marijuana that they have right now, and the best way to get the criminal elements out of the billions of dollars of profits they make on it.
The Right Honourable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, in Kelowna for the next 48 hours, along with the Canadian Liberal caucus, as they plan the fall session of Parliament. Wayne Moore for Castanet News.
Read letters to the editor in our letters section under the opinion button in the yellow masthead. Email your letters to letters@castanet.net.